Rahim and I come from very different backgrounds and cultures and religions, and so very early on in our relationship we had to talk about our differences really in depth. And so creating that communication between us about how do we make this work and how do we develop the tools and the skills to make our relationship work versus just saying this is going to work and it's going to be great. So today we want to share with you guys some tips and things that we've learned along the way that has helped us in our relationship. So the first thing we're going to talk about is communication.
Relationships are built based on communications. We communicate every day. We communicate by physically, communicate by verbally, we communicate by feelings, we communicate everything. So the more we have a clear and better communication between me and me first, then the other person have a good communication between him and him or her and her, that will really improve the communication between us. God has guided us to that, where He thought us to start it with, let's have a clear communication what we really want from this relationship.
Something we talk about a lot is words of affirmation and just how you can't use them enough. I'm not the type of person to think that you can say I love you too many times. I think that the more you say it, the more it sinks deeper within the other person and can help strengthen your relationship. So I don't think anyone should ever be afraid to say how they're feeling more often if you're feeling it. I mean, of course, don't say something if you're not feeling it, but I think every single time you see your partner and you're just like, oh my gosh, I love you, just say it to them. I think that's really beneficial for a relationship. And on top of that, complimenting them. For me, I never get tired of, like, when I cook something, when Rahim tells me he really likes it. I could cook something and he could tell me he really likes it like 10 times, and each time it would mean something really great to me. So, I mean, even if you already said that you liked something, or, oh, that sure looks so nice on you, what you cooked me this morning was really delicious, even if you say it like the next day, it's still so nice to hear. Even like a week later, if Rahim's like, oh, remember last week when you cooked that thing? Like, I'm like, oh, I love hearing that. And I think just words of affirmation, saying I love you, and giving the other person compliments can really help your communication and deepen your relationship.
Maybe I can add that, especially for the guys who are watching me now.
Oh.
Females love words of affirmations. And by the way, we like it too. If you think about it, no one will refuse to have a good words. No one will say no to an amazing, good quality words or beautiful words, especially from the people you love or they love you. Once you start to make it as a habit, when you always just try, always, nothing will come from your tongue except beautiful words. Believe me, your relationship will grow all the time. It will be growing every day. Because whatever you are saying to other person, actually you're saying to yourself. And the life that you want from outside, you're already working on it inside. So when you always say good words and you notice the good things in the other person and you really try to support and focus on that, these things that you're focusing on will grow until you find there's almost nothing to complain about. You are just always live with the gratitude, not of complaining. So you will always live with the discovery. You will even discover a lot of beauty in your partner that you will not even know, because you focus on the beauty of them.
I think that's a really great point, especially with the energy that you put out is energy you get back. And that's something that Rahim and I say and remind ourselves all the time, that if you aren't feeling loved by your partner, maybe being the first one to initiate that sort of communication, that loving and appreciative communication, ultimately then your partner will feel more comfortable and more open, and hopefully to then say those words back to you more often, so that setting that as like your guys' pattern and precedent.
Exactly. By the way, in the beginning of our relationship, Christina, whenever I say good words to her, she was like, oh, that's cheesy.
This
you
was
know?
something I really had to learn.
Yeah, so it's okay. I was like, I'm okay. That's me. I love to say good words to people. So I keep doing that. She's still scared.
Not only that, like I didn't like to, like for me hearing it felt like I would get nervous and I couldn't say things. It was really, really hard for me to like compliment him or say things. And I don't know, just with practice and us talking about these sort of things.
Here's the thing. If you want to make a change in the relationship, you do the change by yourself. Be the leader of change. So even me, I like good words. I like compliments. I was not really asking her, hey, please give me good words or compliment. No, I was sending her waves of good, lovable words
so
to
true.
her.
That is
So
true.
now she becomes cheesy more than me.
I know. Now I'm the one who's like. Ah.
No, it's not cheesy. Actually, it's an amazing word. Actually, that really helped a lot. We are human in the end. We love that, and that really support us and boost us with more energy. So why not? We are our life makers. So we choose that. So that, alhamdulillah, I can say that I'm thankful to God that increasing our quality of relationship all the time. Maybe because of only good words to each other. Another thing.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, so something that we think can help you establish good communication within your relationship is to set good daily practices. And we both really like watching self-help videos and reading self-help books, things that make you a better person, and they often recommend that you wake up in the morning, you have a gratitude practice, you work out, and meditate. So what we have liked to implement, especially in times when maybe we're not able to spend as much time together, is to do these practices together. And so just implementing that into your daily routine of maybe sitting down for like 5 minutes and doing your gratitude practice together. Of course, there's going to be things that you individually feel grateful about, but there are things that you both can feel grateful about together, and that can help bring you closer together and just put words down about how you're feeling about certain situations and how appreciative you are about something that maybe your partner doesn't even realize that that's in your head.
I think part of the things that make the relationship grow, it's what you are doing together as a quality time. These small daily practices of good practices, when you guys do it together, it's gonna include there, so it's gonna improve the bonding between you guys. For example, when you meditate together, when you work out together. Even let's say, for example, now we're living in Saudi Arabia, we don't have gyms that mix between people, but we're thankful that we're living in a neighborhood where we have gyms beside each other. So I just park the car, I say hi, see you after 1 hour or 2 hours, and then we go back from the gyms and we go eat together, and then it's nice lifestyle. And I love how we agreed in the beginning of relationship. We said this relationship is about growing. We are here to grow together. So she's supportive about everything I do, and I'm supportive about everything she do, and also we support each other to have a healthier lifestyle. She wants me to become, for example, a vegan. I cannot be vegan 100%, but I'm trying to eat more vegetables, and I'm grateful that she was one of the main reasons why I'm eating more vegetables nowadays. So daily practices with the objective of growing will always make your relationship grow as well.
Yes, I think we both like meditation, so that can be a really deep thing to do together. And like Rahim was saying, we don't live in a country where we can necessarily work out at the gym together. But if you're in a country where you can do that, then go to the gym together.
Sure.
And just maybe, you guys can do your own thing most of the days, but if you one day a week just kind of do your workouts together and support each other through that, and just remind each other to say kind words to one another while you're working out. Even for us, we work out at different gyms, but they're right next to each other, and I think it always puts us in a good mood to come out of the gym at the same time and be like, how was your workout? We both have so much more energy at that point and just feel really good.
Exactly, and maybe one more thing to add. When she was Christina, she was talking about the meditation. I have a good things that I advise you guys to do it. Do as a couples a good meditation together, and after that meditation, go kiss
Aww.
and hug. Believe me, you will have one of the best kiss and hug ever because
It's
you will
nice.
be so much present on that. And that kissing it, you feel it with your mind and body and even with your soul because you just connected to yourself, to let's say the higher power, and then you go guys come and connect again to have the unity of one.
Mashallah.
Yeah, try it and let me know how it's
Yeah, go ahead, comment. Tell us how your meditation practices go together.
Don't, or not only meditation, and after that, hug and kiss, and let me know how does it taste. You will love it.
Gosh. The next point we would like to make is more specifically when you guys are in the heat of an argument or a disagreement, and I think reminding yourself in that moment that that person is a good person, somebody who loves you unconditionally, and somebody who ultimately wants the best for you. So as long as you can remember those things and come back to that during the disagreement, I think that can help a lot because at least for me, we kind of talked about this and I think this impacts me more. I'm like pretty emotional, and when we get into disagreements, I can get very emotional. I'm the one who's like crying and really upset, and you kind of forget how much that person loves you and how the disagreement has nothing to do with them being a good person or wanting what's best for you. It's just simply that you guys have differing opinions based on the very, very different backgrounds you have. And so just coming back to that and remembering that for us, especially at the beginning, there were a lot of things that I didn't realize I would have disagreements with my partner about because we just come from such different backgrounds. And I would like get in my head about it and be like, oh my gosh, he doesn't understand me. He like isn't listening to what I'm saying. And I fill my head with all these negative things. But ultimately in those moments, instead of filling my head with those words, if I can say to myself, this person loves you and wants what's best for you and is coming to you with an opinion based on their background, then that can be helpful for me.
I think you're right, and also there is one thing that honestly I learned it from Christina. When sometimes we have like when we fight or we have a disagreement, she came and she asked, "What 3 things that you're grateful about our relationship?"
Yeah.
that will really shift your mindset from a fighting mood to a gratitude mood directly. You cannot be unhappy when you are doing gratitude. You always be happy, you always be positive, you always charge yourself with good positive things. So, always remember the good things in the other person and make it as a list. And the more you are grateful, and the more God will give you more from the thing that you are grateful for, because whereas your focus goes, your energy flows. Your focus about the good things always. So even the fights in somehow later on you're gonna be less and less and less and less, because you guys have reached to a level of understanding that you understand the other person before even he say what he want to say. For example, now even we understand each other from a look. From a look she can know that, okay, I'm gonna do that. Or even me, I can, from her look, I can say that, oh, okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. This is the first thing. Second thing for me, communication with the attention of objectives. But we're focusing about objectives, not the other person. Because the other person is always good. You choose your life partner, sure, he's the best ever. So there is nothing wrong on him or on her. It's always the things that you guys communicating about, which is you have different point of view about it. So when you explain everything from deep details about how you understand it based on your culture, for example, and also she said what she understand about that point from their culture, that good communication will make you meet in a good middle ground or middle place where you guys met there and let's go to the same point of view and look at that things, and you feel like okay. Third things that I can add also, which is the art of apology all the time. Guys sometimes have egos. Okay, sometimes we do mistakes, but we don't apologize about that. Why not? Believe me, if the girl she's angry at you, the first thing, when you have a fire, you bring water and just split it there, and the fire will go down. So the water of that fire is apology. Even if she was like coming to attack you, I was like, yes, I admit it. I'm fully mistaken. I'm sorry.
I think, and whenever he apologizes, then I also then in that moment reflect about, even if I still think that I'm right, I can reflect on my actions and things about the argument that I was wrong about, because in any argument or disagreement, there are probably places where both of you guys have misstepped, and I think just like seeking that out and just being like, thank you for apologizing, and I also could have handled that so much better, or approached this topic in a different way that didn't have to trigger this much emotion. So I think that's a really good point with apologizing. And I like what you're saying about gratitude. That is one of my favorite things. It's when we're arguing I very much don't like to sleep after an argument. I will keep Rahim up and be like, we need to come to a conclusion. And even if we can't come to a conclusion, just like being like, okay, we're going to come back to this tomorrow. Let's end right now by saying 3 things that we love and appreciate about the other person. I think that should be the way that you go to bed.
We have something in our culture when they say the devil, one of the main job for him is to destroy relationships. So whenever the devil finds something that can he use to destroy the relationship, he will go and make it more and more in your life. How? It's by making you by focusing about the mistakes or the disagreements and make it generalized in the relationship by saying, for example, you always do that to me. You always do that to me.
I will say though, in our relationship, I'm definitely the one who does this more often.
So when you have a disagreement, you said that, no, it's not always. So you should like ask questions that shift the focus. So you can say that, no, we are always having good time. We're always having agreement time. The only time that we didn't have disagreement, it's only 3/1000.
So for me, I generalize things because it does feel like a big deal, and I say, oh my gosh, you always do it, because it happens often. So when he says that, I'm like, okay, you're right. I should say this differently, but ultimately something's going on here. I think it's important to understand that there is something still going on. So I think being like, okay, it like hurts me when you say that I always do this, because I know for Rahim, when I say that, it does hurt him. He's annoyed that I've like said that he always does something when he doesn't always do that. So it's okay to bring that up, but then I think ultimately knowing that something is going on, I think then from there, I think the best place to go from there is to not get defensive, right?
Okay.
Not being like, I don't do that all the time, I don't do this, blah, blah, blah. Like more just understanding, this is something that is concerning to my partner. How can I understand? Even if it is generalizing, right? Even if I'm generalizing, something is going on, right? So when Rahim and I talk about this, we often are able to get to the root cause. So he starts off by saying, do I really do it all the time? And then I need to be like, no. But slowly, we get to the root cause, which is maybe something totally different from what I even brought up in the first place. But I think getting to that root cause of like what's really bothering me, and sometimes it's really like I'll say something and then we'll get to the root cause and it's like, I'm just homesick, or like I'm just feeling like I miss like my family at home or something. You know, it's like it's something so much different than what you even brought up like in the first place. The really big positive that comes out from that is that you've like digested all of that together and figured out more about the other person.
Okay, sometimes the other partner will come to the other side, will talk to him or to her and tell him like, yes, I have an issue or something like that. I think in the right time, the right thing to do for the other partner, which is give a time and give a power of listening, where like you listen deeply more to reach to the roots of their problem. It's not, don't go and fix things which is they are just, let's say, in the surface, where like there is something deep about it. As she mentioned just now, sometimes it just you're missing something. Sometimes you're hungry.
That's him. That's usually him. For me, what I was just coming back to the fact that when you have these disagreements, the solution is simply just getting to the root cause of it and talking it out, because just being really quick to be like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong, or, you know, just kind of, it brushes it under the rug, and then you're left with all of these things under the rug. Exactly. That's like weighing on your relationship. But like in that moment, just being like, what is the root cause of this, and working with your partner to figure that out is healthy and turns the argument into a positive situation.
I agree. And also remember, this disagreement, the main reason of them to be, it's to increase your understanding. So when you have that mindset in your mind that we have disagreement, that means, oh, it's a chance for me to know you more and understand you more.
Yeah, I like
so that will really shift the relationship to another level. And also, disagreement means, rather than just only understanding, it also means sometimes there is messages to you as a person, as a me, for example. That means, oh, I have a habit that is not good even to myself, and is not even good to the relationship, that I should work on it. Which is, it's, I like that when there is one of the teacher, he was saying that God is always sending you messages. So sometimes that messages come from your partner. So that means, oh, there is something that you should change about it. Also, the third thing I can add, for example, let's say your partner was complaining about one thing that you always do, and she said to you, for example, you always do that, you always do that. That means you're always doing it. Come on. So, what I do, for example, we have some kind of disagreement about things that we have issues with, which is sometimes the things that I grown up with as a habit. But in her culture, that is a bad habit. For me, it's a good habit. Okay? So what I'm telling her, so first of all, I try to understand from her perspective what that means. And then if I feel like, oh yeah, that is not really a good thing to her. So whenever I do that again, what I tell her, I remind her about the progress, how I'm improving in that.
It's
true.
So
she will think, oh yeah, you are improving in that. And then even though she was coming to attack me, for example, why? I was like, wait 1 minute. Yesterday, for example, let's say I was wait for 5 minutes. Today it's only 3 minutes.
I think that's a good thing. If it's a recurring thing that you're generalizing, I think on the person's end who is generalizing, it's good practice to recognizing the improvements that the other person has made, because I think for a while there I was quick to just being like,
As simple as that, we can summarize that in three things, which is apologize as fast as you can, directly. And the second thing, remember about the process of the progress, about the improvement that you are doing. And the third thing, change the mindset about the disagreement, which is it's only here to send you a message to increase the understanding between you as a partners.
Our last point is to both commit to a growing mindset together, a growth mindset, a mindset where you both are wanting to continue to better yourselves and support the other person in their goals of bettering themselves. And
I love one day Will Smith, he was saying about discipline and commitment. He said that discipline and commitment is self-love. He defined that by self-love. I was thinking about it. How is that self-love? It's simple as that. Because when you love yourself more, you will provide and you're gonna give yourself a good things. And one of the amazing things that you can give to yourself is a growing mindset by learning how to grow every day. So when we're having that attention in the relationship, that's gonna be like the main objective or the main values that you guys gather to. So you always look into that things where you are growing every day. So any things or any decisions you might take in your life, it's based on that, and that will reflect in your lifestyle together as well.
Something that Rahim initiated when we first got together, and something that has been really important for us, is that we did set like some overarching intentions. Like we're both pretty into like setting goals throughout like our day, our weeks, our months, but I think in your relationship, sitting down and setting these like a few overarching intentions that you guys can come back to when you're going to make big life decisions or getting into arguments or something like that. For us, it is like we're both religious, so one of our intentions is that like we make a decision that brings us closer to God. Also, another intention is to be healthy, so making decisions that will support both of us being like healthy mentally, physically, emotionally. And so within that, committing to being healthy together, I think is something
exactly
we talked about.
I like that saying. One day, one of the teacher, he was saying that healthy body, it's the door to connect to your soul. Because when you have a tired body, you will not have even a time and energy to connect to your amazing soul. So when we take care about what we eat, we take care about what we do, about what we read, what we enter inside our body, it will really reflect also about our connection to our soul and to God as well. And also to connect to each other.
If you are both like relatively healthy people, but have a different level of commitment to your health, that could get in the way of your level of connection with the other person. Like, for example, if one person is really wanting to eat healthy all the time and really goes to the gym all the time and then has all this energy, and then the other partner is like eating totally differently and you know, feeling kind of sluggish, like that's going to get in the way of the way you guys communicate, the way you guys love each other, and the energy that you bring to the relationship.
I like that one day Tony Robbins was saying that clarity is power. So when you have a clear intentions about your relationship, that will really reflect everything. So what we did in the beginning of relationship, we really write down everything, what you want as a partner and what you want in these relationships, and then we combine these two goals from two different person to one main goal, which is growing. So that is let's say sometimes when you want to do a decision in your life, you should have criteria. So growing is our main things. And second thing, maybe something that will even, again, under growing, which is make us more enjoyable, more better quality life, more lovable life, more everything. And also, whenever we focus as a couples about our internal life, that will really increase the bonding and the strength. Because sometimes couples, they let others enter their life without having a solid bonding relationship between them. So that will make the relationship weaker and weaker. But when we focus about us, and I also focus about me in the relationship, we always gonna grow day after day.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that especially for me, I'm the one who's like more quick to talk to my friends or my family about kind of negative situations that Rahim and I are going through. And I think I don't need to do that all the time. And if you're the type of person who like feels like you want to talk things out, like you don't need to do that. You don't need to talk about your relationship to other people, whether it be really good or really bad. Like you don't need to share everything. Of course, if it's something that you feel like you need to talk through, then you could talk it through to someone. But just, I think understanding the reason why you feel the need to talk about something. Maybe you feel misunderstood by your partner, or, you know, that's between you and your partner, and you guys need to come to an understanding of that. And I think bring other people's opinions in, because they don't know the whole situation,
Exactly.
can oftentimes be more detrimental than it can be helpful. So just being weary, like I'm the one who likes to talk more, so I don't think you have to like hold, like, not everything, but I just being filtering through what it is that you want to share with people and understanding why you want to share it with like people outside of your relationship.
Exactly. And even if you did that now, let's say if I did it or someone did it, make sure you go to the same people that you were talking about about your partner with them, and you say good and amazing words about your partner, because you will eliminate that negative energy that you put there. Believe me, and that works. And I believe that even from our culture, that we say that good deeds will remove the bad deeds. So do that and practice it.
I think we all know like couples who are quick to talk to random people about issues that they're having in their relationship, and you automatically just jump to the conclusion that they have not a good relationship, and like you kind of make these like negative assumptions, and that brings negativity to that relationship, because then the type of advice that people in their life offer them is maybe not advice that brings them together all the time. I think because the assumptions that other people make about your relationship really can affect your relationship. So if you've talked about your relationship negatively to everyone in your life, and then now they're not supportive of your relationship, it's like, well, it's your own fault that other people aren't supportive of your relationship, because you are the person that they're getting information about your relationship about. So just being wary of that.
Rather than going to talk about everyone else about an issue you have with your partner, go to your partner. We should really believe that you are, like the other partner is a messenger actually. He's a messenger of teaching you a lot of things that you were not really focusing on in your life. The same thing, I learned a lot from Christina, and she made things came within me that I was not thinking that is even existed. So I was like, oh, okay. So the growing mindset will teach you to be always with yourself first. So to have healthy with yourself first, so I can go and give healthy relationships or healthy vibe and energy to my partner as well. So believe me, he or she is the reflection of everything you have within you. So if you want to change anything in the relationship, change that things first within you, and then you're gonna have an amazing, lovable relationship.